Hey, Seth here to talk about the quilts that I use with my hammock. What are quilts? Well, they're an alternative to sleeping bags. There's basically two kinds of quilts that I use. The under quilt is specific to hammocks and hangs underneath the hammock. The top quilt replaces what would be a sleeping bag inside the hammock. When I first started hammock camping, the first few years, I strictly used a sleeping bag in my hammock. This Kelty 20-degree bag, which means it's really good around 30 degrees. It's laughably heavy compared to all the other insulation I use now. This is synthetic, whereas everything else here is down. But it's what I had at the time, and I used it for several years. I never slept warm because if you don't have an underquilt, then your body is compressing the insulation at the bottom of the sleeping bag. You don't have anything really insulating your back, and it just takes a little bit of wind to really just go underneath the hammock and really suck that heat out of you. So I tried lots of things. I used a silk liner, a bunch of different types of pads, but I never slept warm. And ironically, it wasn't until I decided that I wanted to try winter hammock camping that I got my first underquilt, this Hammock Gear 0-degree Incubator, the economy version. All of the Hammock Gear quilts have an economy or premium. Economy, the down's a little heavier, and in economy, you don't have as many choices of colors. So this is my first quilt that I bought, this Incubator. I took it on a 15-degree night right outside, and then I took it up to Mount Garfield with my buddy Rob. It got down to 3 degrees that night. I still use the Kelty bag. I still use that in conjunction with the Incubator, and you know, I wasn't freezing in the morning, so that's pretty incredible as far as I'm concerned. I was totally sold after that trip. I would never sleep without an underquilt again, and I had full confidence in this one, and that gave me full confidence in Hammock Gear as a company. And so these are all Hammock Gear quilts. I'm apparently a Hammock Gear guy, I guess. So the 0-degree underquilt, I was so impressed with it. It really did the trick in the winter, but way too much in the summer. Too much weight, doesn't pack down, very small. So I knew I needed another underquilt for summer months. And so I looked online, found this on eBay. This is the Hammock Gear 30-degree Phoenix. The difference between the Phoenix and the Incubator is the length. This is 3/4 of length. This is the full length. So while the Incubator goes from head to toe, this one is going to go from head to about around your knee. As you can see, my cat likes to climb. You're basically not getting insulation under your calves and your feet. So it's a bit of a trade-off. And for me, I decided it was worth it because it would be in the warmer months. I have my down booties I can always bring to supplement if need be. And for the most part, I've been very happy with it. It's done the trick, and it's kept me warm. With the underquilt situation taken care of, I knew I needed a replacement for the Kelty sleeping bag, which is just old and way too heavy. And so I went with another used quilt. This one I got on the hammock forums. This is a 20-degree Burrow top quilt. Economy, again, they're all economy except for my new top quilt. A lot of times my feet aren't all the way in the foot bag, and it often wants to just snake out of the hammock, it's so long. I tried a bunch of different things to try to keep it in place to my detriment, and so I ripped it. I get this janky bandage over the tear. I really do need to fix it properly, give some TLC. But it's plenty warm, it keeps it warm. So in that sense, it does its job. But again, I needed something for the warmer months, and I decided to finally get another new quilt from Hammock Gear after getting a few used pieces of gear. And I went with the 40-degree Premium Burrow. So this is what it looks like. It is green on the outside and purple on the inside. That's one of the advantages of Premium. You get a wider choice of colors, and you get to have 2 different colors. The top quilts, you got a couple options. I like the sewn foot box because it's one less thing to worry about, but you can also get them with a zipper so it opens up and that gives you more flexibility in terms of temperature control. But I'm a big fan of just not having to worry about that and just being able to stick my feet right now. Top quilt comes with buttons so it can go around your neck, and that way it holds it in place at night so it doesn't come off. And you can actually, if you're in a tent, you can actually have straps that can go underneath like a sleeping pad to like snap like that. It is so light, it's unbelievably light. And I got a backpacking trip coming up with Rob and Duncan and their boys, and I wasn't sure it was going to get here on time. There's like a 3 to 4 week lead time before they would ship. But the great thing about Hammock Gear is that you can leave a message with your order, and they responded immediately and said, we understand and we'll prioritize this and make sure it gets out on time. And it got here even sooner than they said. So I mean, I can't say enough about their customer service at Hammock Gear. They really do a great job, and they make a great product, so I highly recommend them. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way, I just think they make a great quilt. The one other piece of insulation I've been using at times in the warmer months is the synthetic quilt that I got a few years ago. It doesn't button up or anything, it's just basically a big blanket, and it's a rate I think 40 degrees, so I've used this in conjunction with the Phoenix at times. Or I've taken it to supplement, say, the Burrow. I'll just have the Burrow and then I'll put the quilt on top for extra warmth. So a lot of ways you can kind of double up if you really want to get to colder temperatures. With this setup, I could add the 30 degree underneath the 0 degree, and then that would keep me plenty warm. And other shirts I bring, my down booties, they almost always come. Even in the summer I might bring them because they weigh next to nothing and they will keep your feet nice and toasty, oh so toasty. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I like doing staggering my temperatures. So I got the 0 degree underquilt, I got the 20 degree top quilt, the 30 degree underquilt, and then the 40 degree top quilt. I'm not sure what it is, I like just having different options. So I could see on, on a night when it's 30 degrees, I may go with the 30 degree underquilt and the 20 degree top quilt. But if it's 50 degrees, I'll swap out the top quilt. So a lot of different options I can play with, and I'll probably end up getting a new top quilt that's something to replace this Burrow, something the proper length. Maybe a 10 degree bag so that I can just have something I can know I can go a little lower in the 20. But overall, I've been very happy with these quilts. I'm very fortunate to have so many now, and they give me a lot of different options depending on the weather. So there you go, that's what I'm working with quilt-wise. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you got any questions, post them below. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.